Regular meeting for the Design and Historic Review Commission. It's Thursday, January 18th at 11:05. We have established that we do have a quorum. Okay, our first order of business, if you would turn your phones off, put it on silent during the meeting, that would be great. We are going to forego the consent agenda, and we'll vote on it next month. We'll start with our regular agenda, which is the annual elections. We need to take nominations for chairperson and vice chairperson. Do we do these separate or together, or do we vote on them separate, or?
If you want to do them together, that's appropriate, but if there
Okay.
becomes like more than one person nominated for one position but not the other, you'll need to do them separately.
Okay, so if somebody would like to nominate somebody we'll start with chairperson. Why is
I'd love
everybody
to
looking-
nominate
Why is
David
everybody
for
looking at me?
chairperson. Second, great.
Okay, thank you. Now vice chairperson. Can we have a nomination for,
I was it last time, I'll stay if y'all want me to.
okay, you can nominate yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, well, sure, I nominate myself for vice
Okay.
chairperson.
I'll second it.
Great.
Okay, we have nominations in a second. Let's we'll vote them for both at the same time. Chairperson and vice chairman, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Okay.
You're it.
All right.
Okay, we'll start with our first case, which is CA 23-17, 12 East Tuig. It was tabled from our November 16th meeting, a request for a certificate of appropriateness to do a full remodel of an existing building located at 12 East Tuig.
Good morning. I was about to say good afternoon. It's not afternoon yet. Good morning, Ray Lineberry, planner. This one was tabled. It's at 12 East Tuig. So I have a few different slides. Otherwise, I'm going to kind of zoom past some of the slides that you have already seen. It is in the downtown neighborhood, CBD. It is a historic building. These are the pictures of it currently. And then some of the older pictures, at least from the front. You guys had asked for the east side of the building, information on if there was going to be windows and that type of thing. So he did provide a slide showing the east side of the building. There will be windows in the little balcony and shutters on that side also. This is the same storefront. They want the Tuscany tile with the border, and then I have now included, you guys had mentioned that there is some bricks out front that may be historic or part of the original building, so I went and took pictures of that. The red brick, if I point, hey. Okay, so this side, the red brick right there, is from the Junior League. Staff doesn't really believe that part is historic, but this side here, we do think that that is historic and probably dated with the building. So staff is kind of recommending maybe not replacing that brick there, this picture. And also, I didn't get a chance to ask the contractor if they spoke with Junior League to see if maybe Junior League wanted these bricks, because if you notice, some of them have names of their donation. See if they're wanted. And then, there we go. The lighting details, I didn't notice anything that had changed, but I went ahead and included that slide again. There are samples. The applicant brought samples that are up by David for you guys to look at. They did agree to, go back a slide. They did agree to to paint the bricks on both sides to match the front, to keep the front the same. and they brought a few sample colors that they're going to try to see how it looks on the brick and which one is the closest. They brought samples of the tiles and some of the other paint colors of the balcony. I also printed off, I did not include that sheet. I printed off another sheet explaining the shedder information and the balcony information because I couldn't zoom in. The writing was so small, I couldn't zoom in enough on the slide to read it. It should have been in your staff report also, but just in case you wanted another copy. So if there's any questions from me, otherwise the applicant is here to also address any questions. But I believe that was all your questions from last month.
Is there any questions for staff? Okay, thank you. So we'll now open it up for public comment. Is there someone here that would like to? If you'll state your name.
Brody Dobbins. I'm work for the contractor. I draw up the plans for North Star. Okay. So I'm the one drawing the plans for the customer, and I was wondering if y'all had any questions
I
for
think the
me.
biggest question we had was like the paint colors, and I see where y'all brought several colors here, so if the board wants to look at it, I guess what we're gonna have to do on that is, since we don't have a brick in front of us,
Yeah.
we can actually match it. So we'll just have to get with the board and see if y'all are good with allowing them to do the closest match they possibly can with it.
Yeah, that,
I mean, I think y'all understand that's the route we wanna go with
yeah.
it.
So the tough part on a brick match with the paint color is always gonna be texture and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Really, the best way to decide is to get larger sections tested on the
Sure.
building itself. If that would require approval after such a thing had been
No,
done,
I
that,
think we could probably put that in our motion, you know, that, I mean, if the board is good with it. I mean, Donna, you're good at colors. I mean, you know, I guess we would just have to stipulate in there where we want to get the closest match you possibly can.
the idea being at that seam where the transition is, just take
Yes.
each of those colors and
Yeah.
probably play with shading and tinting on
Yeah.
it too, to really get it close. I don't think a single brick in here
Yeah,
would
no,
really
no,
tell the
I-
whole
I
picture.
understand.
Yeah, and you're working on a foam core that's slick on these samples.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna read like the
Yeah.
brick will.
But I think, all in all, bringing it back to the original color is gonna be a lot better, consistent look with the building. Then I see where y'all got us a drawing of the railings, which
Yes, sir.
look good to me. You know, staff can look at that, it's on the board can look at that. The other question was this travertine, and this is it right here. So what's the question about where that old 2x2 tile goes up into that mezzanine right there? Or,
So-
we really don't want to take that out.
Can we
Okay.
see that picture?
Yeah, can we bring that up?
Basically.
Yeah, I agree with, you know, I think we're all in accord to take the red brick out of there. And so I
Okay.
thought that we were gonna, and then this is gonna be the border that goes up to the concrete.
Yes.
See, is there any way we could get a color that's similar to this, that will tie onto this and then run into where it ties into the other brick?
I bet we
Into that
could look
right
into
there?
it. The reason we basically resubmitted with the same was, the owner doesn't like the tile. He thinks it looks dingy, but,
Yeah.
you know, I believe it
I
probably
think if
is
it's
from
cleaned up and
nineteen
regrouted, I think
fifty-eight.
it'd be fine.
Yeah, the condition of it's actually really good.
Yeah.
I
I
don't,
think that this is an old, same example of a California-made tile. I mean, they did this kind of look years and years and years ago. I think it's well worth keeping. And it's a limited palette. There are not that many colors in it, so tying it into your travertine, I think, is easy.
should be pretty easy.
So you
Yeah.
think this color here would look good
I
with
think
it?
it's gonna work.
Okay. And then this would be the border in front of it right here.
And it has
and it
the
has
small
that-
black pieces
Yeah.
already, so.
If it's
Okay.
And
not
we
cleaned
would
up.
make our best attempt to pull these bricks and offer them up to anyone. I think I've seen your name on one.
I'm sure there is one there.
Yeah, I
In
think I
memory
had
of my
one of those
mother,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think those little tiles will present a different color once you take that red brick away from them, I think. Yeah. It'll look better with, closer to those colors than what the red brick
And
is.
I don't think they would have too much problem if they need to stay. They just want to do something to spruce up the front a little, I think.
Sure.
Between the lead up and new storefront and everything
Yeah.
will,
I mean, our biggest deal is we're trying to keep the buildings as,
yes.
correct as they were when they were built. And we understand that, a lot of things change and, if it's deteriorated to a point where you can't save it, we understand that.
Yes, sir.
But I think y'all did a great job on everything else. Is there any other questions I think the colors look good. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? We'll just have to, and then the shutters.
What is the white color that you're using? Is it labeled on the sample?
Uh,
Oh, it is. Okay.
Thought he had
Swiss
labeled
coffee.
it on the, I think it's the
Yeah.
Swiss coffee.
Swiss coffee.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just hard to read on the page, but you have it on the sample.
Yeah, I do my drawings on these big sheets and forget sometimes that they're not very handy for things like this.
Okay, does anybody have any more questions? Okay,
Looks like a good scheme to me.
yep,
Okay.
all right. Thank you. Does
Thank you
anybody
all.
else want to speak on this project? Then we'll close public comment and open it up to the board. Somebody have any comments or would like to make a motion?
I think it's presented nicely, and I think it's a good combination. I would move that we accept this.
Can
as
we
presented.
stipulate where we
Where-
want to use the travertine, not to take out the other, that two
The
by two?
existing, historic material should
Okay.
remain.
But take out the red brick.
Yes, the brick, the red brick will
So
come
that's,
out.
that's the 2x2 tile that you
Yes.
were speaking
Yeah,
of?
that needs to stay.
Okay.
So we can make that condition 5?
Encroachment.
Make sure you guys are okay with those?
Yes,
Okay.
if we could add that to the,
It's a combination of 1 by 1, 2 by 2, I believe.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
okay, so we have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, we'll move on to our next case. CA 23-24, South Chadbourn, a request for a certificate of appropriateness for open-air back patio enhancement as part of a TIERS funding application for the property of 214 South Chadbourn.
Good morning, members. Sherry Bailey, Principal Planner. This request and the request that follows are coming to you as part of the TIERS program. They have submitted for TIERS money, and I know that you have reviewed TIERS projects in the past. We, particularly on this one, we're looking at something that possibly we would not consider normally because it's in the very back of the building. It is a patio enclosure in the back, so it can't readily be seen from either the parking lot or from the public walking on the streets. But because it is TIERS, we are bringing it forward to you. This is in District 3, Harry Thomas's district, in the downtown historic neighborhood, and it is CBD zoning. Neither the brick front nor the building side and the wall side will be touched at all. Those will remain as they are. What is being removed is the old stone and wrought iron patio enclosure area. And then it will extend over to where that side post is, an enclosure area for the patio, and we'll go into that in just a moment. It will extend out a little further. It'll go till the end of the property in this case. So it does have the possibility for people walking, getting out of their cars in the parking lot and coming in and coming around. There will be both a gate and a door entrance on this side. And this is the rendering that was submitted for the TIERS funding. It is decidedly different than the stone patio enclosure that was there, has been there for a number of years. What they were looking for in this case was something that allowed both uses during the summer and during the winter, so there'll be fans to cool off the area. There will be heaters that will be brought out. They have the ability on that top shade screen to hang some plantings so that it brings some greenery into the area. They were looking to dress up the back. If you've looked at that back area, it's a very cluttered, weed-filled area, and they wanted to dress it up and make it a usable area, excuse me, for the downtown district. The back of the building will be part of the enclosure, but nothing will be extended from that building back. None of the brick on that wall will be touched. This is really intended to be an enclosure in and of itself that does not tie into the building, but enhances the outdoor area. And they are made a strong point on saying it is a separate new structure that covers the footprint of the existing patio area. It's meant to complement that back brick area, so it kind of blends in on the color. They're planning on using both brick and then the wood-colored tables and some metal tables that blend in with that bronze or dark brown colored support members. But what they were looking for was more of a neutral color that had a fresh look to it, but also was compatible with the existing building. And this is just another rendering of their intentions for the area. Staff looked at it based on the fact that it is in the historic downtown district. However, it is in that back area, so we have kind of two approaches to it. We are recommending approval with 4 conditions: that the existing building sides in front and rear will not be affected in any way, that the original facade brick is not to be painted, so that brick that's on the back wall there will not be touched, that the colors, dimensions, and materials shall be consistent with what is approved by DHRC, and that they obtain all necessary permits. And we expected that you might have some discussion that you wanted to have over the color of the excuse me, the color of the wood, the stained wood that they're going to use in that area. And I had hoped that they would be able to come today. I got a call from Mr. Horton. Is he here? Okay,
I
good.
think there's one.
Okay.
We'll
have
call
him-
you here in just a minute.
We'll have him come up here in a minute. But they're open to suggestions if you are uncomfortable with the coloring. They picked that color because they wanted a fresh, inviting look. Okay?
Is there any questions for staff?
The wall that shows up that looks like it may be, I can't tell exactly what it is. Is it a brick wall that has some stucco on it, or
You talking about the one on the
plaster,
left?
and then some green? It's on the left of that.
Well,
Yes,
actually,
okay.
there's, reason I know this is I did this 25 years ago.
Right.
There's actually a building right there, and I think they're gonna take it down. It's like a little storage building.
Storage building.
I think, we'll ask.
No, it's gonna stay.
Well,
It's gonna stay.
oh, okay, then, okay, was mistaken on that. So, yeah, it's brick and stucco and just kind of haphazardy, you know, where it was kind of on there. Can you go back on some of the other pictures where it actually shows the brick, that brick wall? No, not that one. That one. It looks like that.
Okay,
on
more
the
like a-
inside.
like a rubble.
Yeah, it had plaster on it
That
at one
plaster.
time, and somebody came and chipped it all off, and so it's kind of on there, kind of not.
And it is the backside
That's,
of the
yes, that's
far
the
right
parking lot
brick.
side. That storage building is on the other side of that, which is where the courtyard will be. So it kind of look, you really only see about 3 or 4 feet of it, because there's actually a storage room on the other side of that wall.
You can see it on the aerial map,
Yeah.
if you've got that.
Go, let's see. Yeah, you can see it right there. See where it looks like a,
That box.
box? That's actually the building of that wall. So that building's probably 8 foot tall, so you're only seeing about 3 or
Right.
4 feet of that wall on the inside.
Well, I was just curious about the way it shows the green. I didn't know if that was
Yeah,
plant material or paint or what it was.
Yeah, right there.
Right
Yeah,
there.
it looks like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it looks like something's growing on it.
Well, actually, if you could do a green wall, it'd do a lot for air and looks. Yeah, that's a good look.
Okay. Okay, any more questions for staff? Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll open it up to public comment. Is someone here like to come up and speak and answer some questions? Come on up. Please state your name.
I'm Dan Adney. I'm one of the partners at Plateau Brewing Company. And my partners, Michael Choate and Luke Horton, were the ones that have really been driving this. I'm the brewer. And they both live, one in Austin, one in San Antonio. So I'm here to just represent us and answer any questions. They're much more intimate with all the details of this.
I was hoping Luke would be here.
Yeah, I was
So,
hoping so too.
that storage room, y'all are gonna keep that? I thought all that was coming out.
No, the storage room's going to
Well, that's
stay.
what I was wondering, because you have all your panels and stuff on there, all the electrical panels and everything are.
Yeah,
there. I thought,
everything's,
boy, that's gonna be.
and the water heater's out there, and that's
Yeah.
our only storage.
Yeah,
There's
well,
just
that's
no
what
storage
I
in that
thought.
building.
Yeah.
So that's.
So is the new addition gonna be past those grease traps that are in there, or are they
No,
gonna be
the-
inside
the
that
gre-
room?
The grease traps are gonna stay outside of the
Okay,
fenced
so I
area.
couldn't tell from the
Yeah,
drawing.
it's a little deceptive. The drawing doesn't, doesn't
Yeah, it
really
looks
take
bigger
that
than
into
it
account.
actually is, so the traps, and so because I thought, where are you gonna put your dumpster and all that? So all that'll be outside of that fence, like it
Yes.
is right now.
Well, I think the dumpster, we're planning on moving the dumpster. We're gonna share with another business
Okay,
down near us.
yeah.
And also, the color of the fence is gonna be dark. It's not gonna be light like this.
So we have no colors of that? It'd be nice if we had
I think,
some renderings
I
of
think they
that.
sent, it was probably late getting here, but I think they sent some new drawings with the color changes.
Yeah.
And that green wall that's over there, that's actually,
Do what?
We have not.
that's
We haven't
really
received
the
it.
building. There's,
And then-
there's, our storage building is right there.
Okay, and then I guess the steel is gonna be some kind of bronze color, or we don't have any color chips or anything on that?
Let me
Look
check
at.
with, I've got Michael here on the phone.
Well, but we actually need samples. I mean, it's, that looks like it's just gonna be some kind of bronze. And
Michael,
what-
Is the roof flat?
Huh?
Is it a flat roof on that storage
I'm sure,
room?
yes, yeah, it's a flat roof,
Okay.
so you really don't see much of it.
Can you see the storage
He
unit
won't be
in the
able to speak to the
rendering on
group.
the inside?
I know, we don't, is there a?
Is there inside rendering?
Yeah, is there
picture?
another drawing of that where it shows the storage building inside of that courtyard?
He won't be able to testify from that phone in this
Yeah,
meeting
okay.
because we can't see him, but you can
Yeah.
have him text you answers if you'd like, but you
Yeah.
have to speak.
I mean,
yeah, I'm sorry, I
what
don't
kind of
have-
wood are they gonna, what kind of wood is that gonna be? Cedar?
I believe it's gonna be cedar. It's gonna be just like, Mr. Choate's building.
I did that one too.
You did that fence,
Yeah,
so
okay.
that's the type of style of fence that we want to do.
Okay.
And it'll help, it'll also
So
help flow
actually, it's gonna
better.
be like not a board on board, but it's gonna have a gap in between
Right.
it, which I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Circulation.
it's the same way we did at 211. Yeah.
And,
Okay. Anybody have any More questions?
On that other side, on the other photo of the outside of the rendering, on the right side, see there's some rock coming out?
Yeah, the
saw all
rocks are
that
gonna
rock
come out.
space.
The rocks are going to come out up to that, if you're looking at that telephone pole there, we're going to leave that one pillar that you can see standing. That pillar will stay, and that's just past the grease trap. And then the patio will jog out and take up some of that space where the dumpster is, and then go straight across and then back to the building with a big sliding gate that allows us to receive our grain. We'll just have to open that up to move the forklift in and out to bring the grain in the back of the building.
Yeah, so you're just gonna square that patio up.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it looks good. I think it'll really help back there.
Yeah, the space is just not very useful right now, the way it is.
What's the floor gonna be, just concrete or what?
Concrete.
Just concrete?
Yeah, we're going to leave the existing concrete, but then there's this rugged rock area that just
Yeah, I
is,
remember
it's
that.
kind of a trip hazard. So we're going to take all that out and then tie the new concrete
Yeah,
around in kind of an L shape and tie it all in to the existing pad.
yeah.
How many square feet will that be roughly? The whole patio?
Let's see. I'm
Building for
thinking
25 feet, so
I'm
that's
thinking
probably
it's
50
about
by
20.
50 by 30.
Probably 20 by 30, 35, somewhere in there.
Pretty good amount.
And then that grease trap area, of course, we can't really use that. That's right beside it on the left behind that power pole is all of our utilities
Yeah.
are on the
Yeah, I looked at
wall
all
of that little
yeah.
store, the storeroom.
Yeah.
So that would really be a major
That's
change
what when I
to,
looked at the plan, it didn't
Yeah.
tell if y'all were tearing that down or what was going on.
And there's two different materials on the ceiling, two different materials, like a metal and then maybe a see-through,
yeah, we're gonna do
type of-
part of it metal and part of it see-through
see-through.
to just let some natural light in as well. And
Well,
then,
like the center part, that's wood, isn't it?
yeah, in
It's
the,
like gonna be like a blind.
Yeah, in
And
the-
then the
in the-
rest of it's just that corrugated.
yeah.
It looks like light's coming through it.
Well,
Yeah,
it
we're
is.
letting
It's
as
like
much
clear
light come
corrugated
through as
Clear
we
corrugated,
can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And then, of course, the main structure would be steel. And,
So I would assume that you're gonna match the color of those door y'all put into that steel.
yeah, we're gonna
Okay,
tie
well, then
everything, tie
it's just a
everything
real
in.
dark bronze, because they already have a roll-up door back there.
Yeah.
So
I painted all of the trim around the door and that header over that we had to put in. That's all just a dark, just a
Yes.
black.
Yeah, yeah, it's like,
And then,
So
of
there
course,
won't
our,
be customers entering through the back. You can't come into the brewing
Well, there's
from
a-
the back, right? Or only
well,
to the
see, there's
front
a
or?
door, see a little gate right there on the left? So I
Yeah.
don't-
Yeah, there'll be a
everybody will
walk.
still have to come out from the
most people,
front.
90, right now, people can just walk out back.
Yeah,
We can't really control it right now. This way, we can control it. So now, someone just walking down the alley or anywhere can walk in, and they do. The people just show up on the alley and come in the back door, which is right by the kitchen.
and it looks like y'all are gonna keep some of that rock wall on the right-hand side?
Yes, we're gonna
And then
keep.
just put the wood in
I wish we
between?
could keep it all. I love that rock wall. We've already had to tear down about half of it,
Yeah.
just to put
I
in that new
remember-
overhead
I remember when we
door.
put it up.
Did you put it up?
Yeah,
I hate tearing down beautiful things.
yeah.
But we're gonna try to keep as much of it as we can, and my estimation is we can keep it up to that pillar
Yeah,
that's just to the right of the storeroom.
okay. Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank
Does
you.
anybody else like to speak on this project? Nope. Okay, we'll close public comment, open it up to the board. Anybody have any?
I think it's a very inviting looking space.
Yeah, I
Will
do
be an
too.
asset.
That's what
Downtown.
that's what we're hoping for, is just
Yeah.
something a little more, a lot of these beer gardens at breweries are like that, and it's something that we really don't have here. And I
Is
think
it,
it would
is
just
this
add a lot.
going through tiers? Is this project a tiers project?
Yes, they have submitted a tiers application to the South Tiers funding, and so that'll
Did-
be heard
did-
at their board.
I thought the tiers was only for front facade, so they expanded it for stuff like this?
Yes, they have expanded their items that anything really on the exterior of a building
Oh, okay.
is applicable.
Okay.
And of course, that's up to the board to make those decisions, but we do have a grading scale for that.
Uh-huh, okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, would somebody like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we accept as presented.
Okay, can you get a
I
second?
mean, the only thing I have is color, so is it gonna be approved, the approved
Yeah,
color
that's,
palette?
I mean,
and
to be
the-
consistent with the other things that we've done, we've asked them to bring color samples. And he said the rendering on here, the wood was not even that color. There's a newer version of that with the correct colors. So I would like to see that first. and what
Okay,
the colors are.
So are we gonna table this,
I think
or
we
is
should table it. So,
that a
I
consensus of
agree.
the
Okay,
board?
yeah.
Is there an
Okay with that.
option, if this is up to the board, obviously, is there an option to do an approval with conditions, that one of the conditions they bring back the color? Approve everything but the color part of it?
sure.
And
Yeah,
I'm
the
not
only
sure
thing
if
I can
that's an
see, I
option.
mean, I think the structure is gonna match what they have right now, which I've already seen it. It's that black, it's a real dark bronze, yeah. The only thing would be different would be the wood, the color of the wood. Could,
That is just an option for you guys
Yeah.
to consider. And my reasoning being is that the Tiers Board meets before DHRC meets again. And so we would have to remove that item. And doesn't mean that he could not come and us have another funding cycle.
Right.
That's always an option.
Yeah.
That's a tiers item, but.
No, I don't want to hinder that process
yeah,
at
so
all.
let's, if it's good with the board, we could add that to it
Yes,
as a stipulation.
That's fine.
that's fine
So
for
we
me.
will vote to approve it with that stipulation.
Yes.
That they bring back that wood color.
That'd be great.
Everybody good with that?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in
Yes.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. You're good to go.
It's going to look really nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a great addition.
Okay, we will move on to our next case, which is DO 23-10, 202 Martin Luther King Drive, a request for a full facade and landscape renovation within the downtown design district at 202 Martin Luther King Drive as part of a tiers funding request.
That is correct. This is the building that is being considered at this time for a total upgrade on the exterior, enhancements to this building. And the applicant owns this building, and what he wants to do is replicate pretty much the look of this building and then tie those two buildings together with fencing. This is in the downtown district. It is CBD generally zoning. With this particular piece of property is heavy commercial, general commercial. And you can tell that the building has had some use in the past, and it's an older building, and it's definitely in need of some upgrades. And his intent, and I don't want to speak for him, and I've talked with Paul and we've worked together, but the landscaping that is around, will be around this new building will match fairly closely to the landscaping on the, that second building. He's looking to have the same basic roof line, the same basic looks to the exterior. And then, as I said, drawing the two pieces of property together with the fencing so that it presents as one total piece. As you mentioned, this property is the Tiers money intent loan or grant money. His coverage is for a canopy that's similar to 236, 240, whatever that building is, the address is on 2nd Street, so that the two buildings will be very similar. He'll add a siding of rock on that lower portion. And then the upper section on the exterior will be the stained wood. Landscaping and lighting will match that second building, and then have the solid wood fencing to extend. In looking at materials and the color palette, we believe that materials share will appear to be similar to those, as we stated, on the first building. The stained wood siding over the stone siding on the building, and the pillars will match. A simple material finish is encouraged for this large expanse of canopy wall that he's going to redo. Dark lantern lights and white wood fencing tying the two buildings together, and then landscaping incorporated is the overall picture that he is asking you to look at. You have before you a packet of information that has some very distinctive pictures that are tied to this original building, and he is using that as his main inspiration for the improvements that he's doing on this downtown district piece of property. We would like to have Mr. Yost come up and visit with you about that. I think it is individualistic enough, and he is looking for inspiration from you, that if he could go through those items with you, it would probably help as we proceed through this application. So with your forbearance, I'd like to bring him up.
Anybody have any questions for staff? Okay, we will now open it for public comment.
Well, he's
Do we
kind
need
of
to
part of
close this, or
the, he's
do-
kind of part of the presentation on this.
tie these together, or?
Yeah.
I think opening it up for public comment is fine, and having the
Okay.
applicant come forward first is appropriate.
Okay, Paul?
Paul Jost, I want to redo the property at 202 Martin Luther King. I have this property at 236 West Second. It just ties in and around on the corner. And
It's kind of hard to see there, but this property is to the left of this property, because we don't really have a shot of both of them together. So that's where it's kind of hard to figure out what's going on with it.
There's kind of a picture there, but they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it over to the left. Yeah,
Yes.
so they will be more, not tied together, but it's all part of the same complex.
right. Had some drawings on here that we did. I mean, it kind of shows the front page on the start of the packet.
But I think what's different for the board is the corrugated, you're not gonna use the corrugated tin like that.
No, no,
You're
no,
doing-
it's gonna be
He's
the
gonna do more of a bronze
standing-
color, like a.
It won't be the
standing
same, yeah, it won't be this other tin. It's gonna be a standing seam. And
Did
I've
you, I
got,
thought you had pictures of all that.
That's in the back.
Where's all
it's
that?
in the back of it, in the back
Is
of
it in
this
here?
packet.
I don't see it in my packet.
There's this picture.
It's not gonna be the corrugated, yeah, there you go, that's
Yeah,
it. It's gonna be a standing seam.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the very back standing seam. And it's going to be, I've got pictures and,
Well, that'll be on the front facade right there. So that other, this parapet wall like this, I'm sorry if I'm taking
Go
over this,
ahead.
but I worked with him on this thing. This will actually be gone. And so it'll match that same parapet like that right there, but it'll be more of that standing seam roof part of it.
Sherry, could you show the structure that
Is
they're
this the
talking about
color?
so they kind of get a visual?
It's gonna be, yes, it's gonna be more of a bronze color, so it's gonna update it a little bit more. This is more country, the other one, this one here, because this faces south, the other one faces west, I'm
West,
sorry.
west.
It faces west, and then there's a fence tying in between them.
between this on the left and the right, there's a fence gonna be in between there. It's gonna be a 7-foot privacy fence, but I'm gonna have rolling gates and stuff, and it'll all be on the front. So it'll tie in from my building on the right, and it'll just tie all the way in. Then there'll be a porch from the back of that building
Yeah, here.
and wraps around to the front.
That's the front of it. There's really not a, is there a shot of the front of the building that's what it is right now? No, the other one.
I know it. They're in this packet.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
one.
it shows it here, but they can't really see. Yeah, there it is. Yeah,
Is that
that's
the
it.
front?
Yeah,
Okay,
so
that's the
this is what
front.
it'll look like.
Okay.
So it'll have the same stone on the bottom for that
Same
wainscot,
stone will
and
wrap
then the
around the
cedar will
front.
go from there up, so it all ties together. So it's gonna look totally different than that. Those little dormers and all that'll be gone.
An extended patio or
Yeah, it's
covering
gonna have
here,
a porch,
front
so
porch
it
and
matches the
wrap.
porch like
wraparound
what's on the
porch.
other building.
Yeah.
And it'll come across the front and then on the side.
Do we know the history on this building?
I think well, I remember one time, I used to have my car washed there, and then it was a garage, and then it just kind
It's
been a
just
few
funny
different
little
things since I've
mansard
been there.
roof.
of, yeah, and that actually wasn't original to it, it was flat. Somebody had stuck that on it back in the 70s, because it's only a facade is all it is, there's nothing behind it.
And this is in the downtown district, not in the historic district, so I wouldn't say our rules are less, but it gives you more flexibility as the board to accept other ideas as opposed to just historic restoration.
Yeah, I don't really think it has much of that.
And this
It was just
building,
a flat roof.
this building does not have the historic designation.
Excuse me?
It does not have
Oh, okay.
a historic designation.
Okay.
Well, are we trying to approve something today, or are we
Yes,
just,
yeah,
what
yeah.
are we trying to approve?
Yeah,
Just the whole thing?
yeah, the whole thing.
The whole thing,
Yeah,
okay.
the whole thing,
Looks,
The whole thing's gonna get a total facelift.
yeah.
It's gonna, new driveways,
Kinda, if you would've seen what this looked like before he started,
it looked about
he
like
did a
this
really,
one.
really nice job. Yeah,
Just
it-
as pretty, yeah.
yeah, it-
I noticed it when it got redone.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's-
that looks
One,
It's a
the
lot-
tiers
lot
helped me with this
nicer,
building
yeah.
also.
I may have
Any
missed
quest-
this. What's the purpose? What business? Is it office space or?
Well, it's an office, but I have RO water. We
Okay.
work out of
So
there.
it'll, like it said on the side, RO water?
Yes, we'll be using that as
Continue.
Yeah, he's got big tanks inside of that, that's what the roll-up doors would be for.
right.
Okay.
And the roll-up doors are gonna be, the metal on the standing seam's gonna be a desert tan color. The doors on the building are gonna be a brown smooth color. So it'll all tie together. There's not gonna be any paint on the front. It's all gonna be the standing seam, rock, and
And the cedar
And the
that
cedar.
matches
cedar.
the other.
The cedar, and it'll be
Yeah,
stained
it's the
just
same
like
color
the
as
other
this.
building, where it all matches.
I was just curious, I drove by it the other day just to see what it looked like. Do you have a well in the back?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there, and it's a working well?
Yes.
Yeah, he supplies all the water,
We
like for
supply
Santa
water
Rita
to-
and all that, yeah, if you need any water.
When it was so cold a few years ago, we supplied all the water to Shannon and Ethicon, and that's what kept the hospitals warm where the community was. Me and my son, we hauled it for 84 hours straight. We never stopped.
That well must be
And
incredible.
we kept everybody, we kept the hospitals hot. They run it through their boilers, so I know when we redo this building, it's gonna look nice. I don't do anything halfway. So, but then we're gonna do the landscaping around, so it'll all be a sprinkler system. I use that well for a lot of things. So, but I had pictures in here too of the windows, what the windows will look like in the other building. And the rock work, the pillars are all matched the same as the other building. There's several pictures in there. And then we're gonna have in front of that porch on the other side, we'll have flower beds like this, that shows in this picture.
I appreciate all the pictures.
But you can kind of see in this one picture here, you can kind of see the other building.
Yeah.
So in between there where this fence is, That's gonna be like a privacy fence, so you won't be able to see, it'll all match. This cedar here will match that, and then it'll match under the porch. It'll wrap around to the front door.
What kind of fencing is it?
Well, it's gonna be cedar,
Cedar fencing?
but it's gonna be we're gonna have rolling gates, electric gates, and it'll all be attached to that. Now, we've stained this one here probably 5, 6 times already, so we don't let it get grungy. And we use the same kind of lighting on the front of this one as we will on the other. And then we'll put the rock, I mean, it'll all match that building. That's why I wanted to use that kind of building, kind of know what it's gonna look like.
I think it'd be a great improvement.
It's a good upgrade for your whole neighborhood there.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Okay, anybody have any more questions for Paul? Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any other comments? Okay, we'll close public comment. Open it up to the board. Have any questions or concerns, or
I think it looks good.
somebody want to make a motion?
I'm so moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay. Let's see, where's my sheet? Okay, I got a lot of stuff up here. Is there a division report?
There is, but if you don't mind doing the public comment portion, that's a requirement that we have for all of our boards.
Yeah.
If you don't mind asking that real
Is there any
quickly.
public comment? Anybody have anything not related to this, or? Nope, okay. Division report?
All right, the division report, first I'm going to ask Sherry Bailey if you wanted to introduce our new member. If you haven't done that already,
Yeah, I'm
I came in a
sorry.
little late, so I apologize.
He was introduced at the beginning.
Okay, all right. So, welcome.
I'm sorry?
So welcome, Luke. We're very happy that you're on our board and,
Thank you very
and sitting and being able to serve in this capacity. So thank you very much, and thank you all board members for doing that. That's very important to us. We did have a great meeting with the board chair, and now again the board chair, David, this week about the agenda and some ideas that he had about us working better with our applicants to get you the color palettes, the samples, the things that you can tangibly see and maybe touch, hold, whatever in the meeting. So we as staff are going to be dedicating ourselves to working towards that for you guys so that we can give you some better applications so you can make easier decisions. So we're going to work towards that. We do believe we will have a meeting in February. I've got a couple of items that I know of that are coming forward. We may have a few others that are coming forward. So we do anticipate having a meeting in February. So start looking at your calendars, and I think on our agenda shows the day of February the 15th. So that's going to come very fast. That's very soon in February. And the last thing that I'll mention is that Henry Schmidt, who's been on our board for a number of years, is considering stepping down just due to health reasons. And so we will have a vacancy at some point. He's still just trying to decide if he can come and serve or not. I know our staff is working on that, but his role, he is an architect, and so that's kind of the big role is architect, but it doesn't have to be an architect. It could be an engineer. It could be a design professional. There are some other things that could fit, and so it is appointed by a city council member. If you know of someone, feel free to give Sherry or myself a call, and we will make sure that we get that information over to the city council member that would make that appointment. If it is come to fruition that Mr. Schmidt does step down, we will probably invite him to one of the meetings and say a thank you to him, because he's been a great resource for us and our community, and so we look forward to that in the future as he looks at maybe transitioning off the board. With that, I don't have anything else.
Okay, thank you. We'd like to thank staff. Y'all, everybody's doing a great job. We appreciate it. There's no announcements. The next regular meeting of the Design and Historic Review Commission is scheduled to begin on Thursday, February 15th, 2024 at 10 a.m. at the East Mezzanine Meeting Room in City Hall at 1772 West College Avenue.
Mr. Chairman, I believe we will move the meeting to 11 if that works with everybody's schedule, just because our one member, her class schedule goes until just before 11. And
Is
that
that
would
good with
accommodate
everybody?
her this
I mean, I'm good with
semester.
it.
And we will have to just make sure we can do that.
Right.
There is again another meeting at 12 o'clock that
Yeah,
starts
I
behind
see
us, so
'em
that
coming in, yeah.
pushes this meeting to a very small
Okay.
window, so
Well-
we will have to consider that as well.
Okay.
We should be back, though, at our regular place of our meeting?
Hopefully.
Okay.
Okay. Make a motion to adjourn?
All right, it doesn't matter where we meet.
So second? Okay. Thank you.